Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel, and on today's episode of Garage Noise, we're going to talk about some plastic bumper repair. We have a scratch in this rear bumper of the Chevy Malibu right here, and we're going to show you how to sand this, prep it, prime it, paint it, and clear it, and get it back to that factory finish that you love. We're also got a little ding here, a little dimple here that we're going to repair, and it's got some spider cracking right here. I'm going to show you how to take care of those. We're going to do all that today, so stay tuned. Okay, so I've taken this bumper off the vehicle and I've stripped it down, removed the plastic rear lower valance here and all the trim pieces. We've got it down to the bare plastic bumper. You don't have to do that at home. It's not absolutely necessary, but this was really close to this lower half of this bumper, so I wanted to take it off so I can repair it properly. You could paint this on the vehicle if it was your own vehicle and you weren't that concerned about it. So for this purpose, I've stripped it down. The first thing we need to do is we need to sand out these hard edges on this paint damage and sand that so it's a smooth transition into the rest of the paint. So I'm going to take this 320 grit sandpaper. I've got a little soft block here that I'm going to hand sand out these hard edges on this damage, and we're going to smooth it out and get it prepped for primer. It really doesn't take much, and this is something you can easily do at home. Now this particular color is a tri-stage finish, which is a three-step process, which is a little bit trickier for someone who has never done it before. But still, nothing that can't be done. And I'll walk you through that as well and show you how we're going to do that. Okay, so now that we have this all sanded out, let's wash it down and just take a quick look at it. Okay, so if you can look here, it's been sanded smooth and it's a really good transition into the rest of the paint. Now there is still a little bit of a low area here where the deepest part of that scratch was. We're going to use some 2K primer that's going to fill that, and then when we block sand it smooth, that'll take care of that little scratch there. So this is ready for primer. I am going to tape off this edge here because I don't want any primer getting in to these hard to reach areas. Okay, now I'm going to sand out these spider cracks. I'm going to use some 80 grit sandpaper on the orbital sander, and we're going to take it right down to plastic. These spider cracks can sometimes be hard to see before you paint it, and then after you paint it they might show up. So you need to really inspect it carefully. You can spray some prep solvent on it or something wet to look for those scratches. Sometimes that helps. But what I'm going to do is sand that down to bare plastic, and then we'll get it prepped out for primer. Okay, so I've mixed up a little bit of icing. This is a good product to fill little scratches, little dings, things of that nature. I've got it prepped out with 80 grit sandpaper. We're mixing up the icing. We're going to lay it over where the cracks were and where that little ding is. So it's just going to really take a real thin coat, and then we're going to block sand this out. If you're interested in this product, I will leave links in the description to all the products that I use today. And if you're interested, they're there for you. But we're just going to get this filled and then sand it out with some 180 grit sandpaper. Okay, so while we're waiting for this to dry, we're just going to go around and sand in all these hard to reach areas with this 1500 grit Scotch-Brite. I just want to get it scuffed and the shine knocked off, so when we paint it, the paint will stick properly. We're going to use adhesion promoter in here, and we'll get that sanded and go over all the hard to reach areas along the edges of this bumper. Okay, so now I'm going to go over the rest of the bumper, all the larger areas with 600 grit sandpaper on a scuff pad, and we're also going to try and get in all those nooks and crannies with the 600 if we can. but we've already went over it with the scuff pad, so the shine has been knocked off of them. It's very important that you go over your bumper and make sure there's no shiny areas. You want to get everything sanded so you don't have any clear peeling off later on. You're not going to put color on your whole bumper, but you're going to put clear on it, and that's just as big as a problem if it starts to peel. Now, as a precaution, I will be spraying adhesion promoter over this entire bumper before I paint it or clear it. And this is just going to be a little added protection to make sure everything sticks properly and we don't have any peeling issues later on down the road. So there's a variety of different adhesion promoters out there. You can get some in an aerosol can. You can get some that you spray out of a gun. The brand I use is called Bulldog Adhesion Promoter. I've had real good luck with it. As far as I know, there's been no peeling issues with it. But I will leave a link in the description for that product if that's something you're interested in. Okay, so now what we're going to do, this is dry, we're going to go ahead and block this with 320. I'm going to start with this foam pad. I might switch over to a more firm pad, but for right now I'm going to sand this smooth with this 320 on this soft pad. Okay, so now I switched over to a firmer pad with some 180 on it. That's going to help it block it a little quicker and get it a little straighter, and then I'll go over it with 320 to remove those scratches. We're going to prime this area anyway, but you want to block it in an X pattern, let the block do the work. Apply a little bit of pressure when you're blocking until it's straight. Okay, so as you can see, I've got it all sanded out. It's a smooth transition into the rest of the paint. And now I've got the rest of the bumper all prepped out for primer. So we're going to go ahead and primer these areas that have been repaired, and then we'll let that dry and sand it. Okay, so now we've let this primer dry. We're going to go ahead and take some 320 grit sandpaper and sand this smooth to get it prepped out for paint. It usually takes about 30 to 40 minutes for 2K primer to dry. This is a 2K primer. It's 4 parts primer, 1 part activator. Okay, so now we have it all prepped out for paint. We've done the repairs on the scratches and the ding, and we've sanded the primer and got it ready for paint. So now we're going to wash this entire bumper cover, remove any contaminants on it, any wax or grease or anything that might react to the paint. We're going to use prep solvent here to do that, wipe it clean, and then we'll tack rag it just before we paint. Okay, so now I'm getting the gun ready to spray. Now I am spraying the mid coat on this right now. I've already put the base color on first, which was like a primer color, which is kind of odd, but we're doing the mid coat right now, and we're covering that first coat. Now I'm using the Astro EVO T13 spray gun. This is a budget gun that I recently purchased to do a review on. So keep an eye out for that review in a future video. Click your bell notification so you won't miss. This gun does have a 1.3 tip, so it's good for base coat and clear coat. So I'm just blending this mid coat into the rest of the panel, so it's a gradual transition into the rest of the color. I'm not trying to get color over this entire bumper cover because I want it to match the adjacent panels. Okay, so now I'm going to apply one more coat of the mid coat on this, so to make sure it's not transparent. I want to make sure everything's covered and that you cannot see the base coat through this. Now I did put on the Gunbudd, that's the light, so I can have a good idea of whether it's transparent or not. And this is a really good light for DIYers. Most of you guys are going to be spraying in your garage or somewhere where there's not adequate lighting, and this really works well for a low price. I think it's like 60 bucks. So I'm doing a drop coat here, and what that does, it's going to allow the color to transition well into the old color. Now when you do a drop coat, you pull the gun back away from the panel just a little bit and let it kind of drop on the panel. So that's what I was doing there. Okay, so now that we've blended out this color, I've done the drop coat and I've blended it out into the rest of the panel. It's time for clear, so we're gonna let this flash off for 15 minutes, tack it off, and now we're gonna spray some clear on it. Okay, so now I'm gonna put the first coat of clear on. So when you're spraying clear coat, you wanna make sure that your spray pattern is parallel with the panel at all times. You want to keep a consistent distance from the panel, usually around 4 inches. Sometimes I'm a little closer, but if you are closer, you need to be a little faster on your passes. You want to overlap 75% on your fan pattern. So you're overlapping clear coat, keeping that edge wet at 75%. Now I open up my volume, which is the amount of fluid or clear that's coming out of the gun. I like to start out with 2 turns out on this particular gun, and each gun is going to be different. It's going to be a little bit different. I think 2 to 2.5 is a good starting point, and then you can adjust from there depending how the clear is flowing out. As far as the pressure, again, each gun is going to be different. But if you start out at around 25 psi, then that's going to be a good starting point for pretty much any gun, and then you can adjust from there. If you're getting a little too much orange peel, then that means you're not atomizing it well enough, so you need to turn your volume down a little bit. That's the amount of clear that's coming out of your gun, and turn your pressure up just a little bit, and that'll help it atomize and help it flatten out. Okay, let's take this out in the sun and look at the finished product. I want to thank you all for watching. We're building a little bit of a community here, and I really appreciate it. So remember, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you appreciate this video and you want to help out the channel, there's a few things you can do. You can subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it. And don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss any of my latest content. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.